because there are a lot of finished good products that do not test out at the same that the extract did, because it's a process when it gets manufactured, and that's not going to be the same. And so that's a huge thing to look for, is finished product lab reports. Of course, our hemp is grown under the hemp pilot program, and that means it's regulated by the Department of Agriculture in their respective states. So it's tracked from like soil to oil. So you want to look out for that too. Make sure the products are, under the hemp pilot program. Let me think here. What else would you look for? Those are kind of the major things to look for as a customer. Of course, I always recommend this. I do it myself. I Google everything. So, Google your CBD oil and the reviews and kind of the company and, what it stands for, where it comes from. And, that's just kind of a huge thing. Did that answer your question good?
Yeah, that was
a good explanation.
So you're saying not just one test, but actually the finished product test as well. So that seems a little, I don't think I've noticed that finished product third-party testing when I have seen other third-party testing for other products. So interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, just because, you can say like, oh yeah, I have my lab reports. Well, do you have the lab reports on the manufactured good? Because that's what the customer is getting.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say, Rachel? Like, what would you say makes SunMed CBD different? You could get CBD anywhere, even if it has its lab test and it's got everything there. Like, what makes it different? What makes our product stand out?
Yeah, absolutely. The commitment to quality, my husband, he runs Sunfloor, which produces SunMed. And the commitment to quality and education about the product and being up to date with Florida and what they want in the hemp laws and being part of the hemp roundtable and, talking with legislation, helping getting things pushed through, donating. We just donated $25,000 to the Bahamas. We're doing a project. It's called the SunMed Project, and it's going to work with an orphanage in Mexico, we're really excited about that. And so there is, there's a commitment to quality for the product, but the product itself there's just so much good going on behind it. And it's like with the best intention. And, so to me, it's very near and dear to my heart. And I just know everything that goes into it and just how committed to quality and transparency they are with their oil. Cause we fully believe, it changed my life. And so it's a constant, strive towards perfection and using the company and to do good, to give back to the community and to not just sell, high quality CBD oil, but to be able to be a part of, the community and giving back. Awesome. And along with, the third party testing and the QR codes and the SQF facilities and the in-house chemist and the, everything else that goes into it.
That's awesome. So the SunMed Project in Mexico is really exciting news. I know that I've also, we've done sponsorships for baseball teams, a theater.
Totally. Yeah. Animal shelters. The stores, the individual, your CBD stores themselves. The amount of, charity that they do and work with the community is incredible.
Yeah, it's really something to see the lives. And I know we are a big part with the veterans and the Veterans 22 and
the Veterans 22 initiative. That's right. And it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I remember at the conference, the gentleman speaking on that and how the product had helped him and how it's helped so many other veterans with like PTSD and panic attacks. And then what we were able to donate to them was really great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was cool. It's really neat.
So we have a few minutes left here. And we are doing a part 2 for the listeners, so definitely join us back for that. But Rachel, how have the new laws pertaining to regulating CBD affected the market, and what does that mean for the future?
So I think it's really exciting because as far as affecting the market, it's just going to get the bad CBD out, so we're really excited about that just because, we hold ourselves to a level of, transparency with the products and quality. And so it'll be nice, just because, so there's not like a stigma, there's not really so much anymore. But I think just because there are so many different CBD brands out there, it's like, they're not all great. And so it's like, if we could just get, everybody on the same page, and then we're all, together collectively selling high quality CBD, as a community, it's great. 'Cause there's a lot of great, companies out there that are also doing amazing things.
Yes. Very.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do it, just do it right.
Exactly.
It always throws me when I have a customer, they're like, no, I tried it and this and that, or they're like, oh, I've wasted a ton of money on product and it never works. And it's like, oh man. So like you said, just to weed out those that are not putting quality first, and that are not putting the transparency end of it with the lab test and everything that you had spoke about. Because
totally.
it kind of steals the opportunity from people. You really have to give them some good reasons to try product again if they've had a bad experience, or if they've wasted money on product that doesn't work. I know for us, we've had products come in and people like, I took this, and I'm like, well, where'd you get that from? And they bought it online and it's from China or the Netherlands or some random place. And I'm like, well, I don't know about this, but let me tell you about what we have.
No, totally. Yeah. Like I said before, it's like, the product could have worked for you if you had gotten the right product. And, and it's like, you're going to miss out on what it can do. And so, so like I said, there's a lot of amazing companies out there doing amazing things. And so so we're all, to weed out the bad ones.
Yeah.
Be good for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually had a bad experience myself. Some random place I went, they were offering a food with CBD, and, being in the industry, I should have been so much more cautious, but I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll take the CBD one. She's like, it's an extra $8. I'm like, all right, well, that's no problem. So, I take it and I eat it. And on the way home, I'm like, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I felt like just crawling out of my skin. And then I pushed it back to that CBD food that I ate. And I was like, oh my gosh, like me out of all people, I should have been tuned into where'd this product come from? What's in it?
Totally.
And I seen it offered, and I thought it would be a nice additive to my dessert. And before you know it, I was in a place that I really never go, which was like wanting to just get home and go hide under my blankets. And it brought to me the light of always knowing where your product comes from and how it's derived, because I'm one of those people who had the bad experience.
No, totally. Because that's a huge thing with coming into your CBD store. You're going to get educated on the products and how to use them and what may work best for you. Because there's some products that have added cannabinoids. There's broad spectrum and full spectrum. And like for my husband, he prefers the broad spectrum, like the full spectrum, the extra cannabinoid. It's too much, he's not a fan. But the broad spectrum works amazingly for him. And so everybody's different. And then especially if you don't know where it's coming from and it could be full of pesticides, and it could have been, God only knows how extracted. I mean, I've heard of it. You know what I mean? And so to come into your CBD store, not only are you getting a high quality product and that everything that is on the bottle is in the bottle, but you're getting the education too, as far as what you may need. And, a place you can follow up with, a brick and mortar you can come back into after taking the product and ask questions, or, hey, this it's not really working the way I thought it would. What can I do, better? And so I think that's a huge thing with coming to your CBD stores. You can follow up. and really, get tuned into what you're doing, and we're there, like we're not going anywhere. And so of course, all of the products that we have, I mean, they have to be high quality just for that reason alone, which is a huge thing buying off the internet. There's no accountability, unless you're getting it from a reputable CBD company that also has, brick and mortar stores, and they're obviously committed to being there. I just couldn't even risk it, as a consumer in general. Like, when I bought my first bottle of CBD, I got it from a friend who was in the business herself. And so I trusted her. And so that's why going off the internet to buy CBD oil to me is just like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Because you have to ingest it. What if something goes wrong? It would cause me anxiety. I just like, oh my God.
My anxiety.
Right. What if they swept the floor and, put the dustpan in it? And then
Well, it's been fun. Listeners, we're going to continue this next week. So make sure you tune in. You're listening to the podcast where good health hits home.
All right. Bye. This is a lot of fun.